Hi and welcome to part 6 of our motorbike tour of northern Vietnam. Today we're off history and onto geography as we travel from Dien Bien Phu to Sapa, which is in Lào Cai province, about 1600 metres or 5,000 feet, or a mile if you like, above sea level. This area is home to the highest peak in Indochina, the Fansipan, at 3,143 metres or 10,300 feet above sea level. I develop a bit of bike trouble along the way. So here's the total route, and we're going to ride northeast for about 270 kilometres. This map shows the elevations on our ride, which total 5,300 metres, or just over 17,000 feet ascent. Okay, enough of that, let's get on with the ride. So right away a truck cuts across our path, where it is Vietnam after all, and there's two scooters which we're taking shelter behind it. And pretty soon we're passing another truck which is barreling along at 75 kilometres an hour. That's not speeded up. I was naughty and I didn't fill up yesterday, so my petrol light is still on. And now we start to climb into the hills, and most of the roads today have got construction going on. At this point I wait patiently for these trucks, and I'm about to wait for this next scooter when a Vietnamese guy shows me how I should be doing it, which is stop for no one and just go. Are these cars going to wait for me? Nah. Bunch of cows on the road again, as usual. And in front of these are some goats, but the cow herd seems happy enough. Another bit of roadworks. We passed through a couple of towns. We're currently in a valley going along the side of a river. And there's a couple of large bridges that span this wide section of the river. So here we are crossing the bridge to a place called Muang Lay. And you can see how wide that river is. So we're heading to the narrow section, which was on that map there. And here we are at the Hang Tom Bridge, just getting the drone ready, because it's a very beautiful spot and a good spot to take a bit of drone video. Here you can see our complete entourage of all the bikes and some passengers and the support vehicles as well. We've got the van and the ute there, so it's quite a big group, maybe 20 people. And now we're climbing again. So this is the 1,000 metre section. We're going to climb up and drop down. Soon we'll be catching our first glimpses of the northern mountains ahead. So far in this tour we've been riding through the Annamite mountains to the west of Vietnam that border Laos. Now we're riding in the northern mountains that border China for the next few days. These are actually the eastern tail of the Himalayas, and you can see them on the top right of a lot of these shots. You can see how the Himalayas sort of tail off towards Vietnam, looking a bit like frozen liquid, caused of course by the collision of the Eurasian and Indian tectonic plates. There's no subduction, so they just squish upwards. And this is a good point to mention that our next trip, which is scheduled for May this year, will be through China to Mount Everest. Here we pass through a town called Lai Chau, And look at this really long boulevard of beautifully coiffured conifers, or whatever they are. And it's about here that I developed my bike trouble.
Huh?
So we pull over to the side, and when the tour guide there on the Transalp quickly identifies that this is actually due to oxidized battery terminals which are not making a good contact, and we give them a quick scrape, and we're off again. So here we start to see the northern mountains properly. You can see the height of these things, their heads in the clouds there. In this section of the ride we're climbing to about 2,000 meters, and this is going to take us to Sapa. Again, roadworks everywhere, very large and scary drops to the side, slippery mud and stuff. But really beautiful scenery. Just teasing glimpses there of these peaks. We make a stop, but there's not much point because we can't see anything at all. And finally we reach Sapa, which is about a mile above sea level, as I said. Very tight, narrow streets, lots of shops, lots of tourists. Very steep little town. And a well-earned rest at the hotel, and the next day we head for the Fansipan, which, as I mentioned, is about 10,000 feet up. That's for those that are tall enough to ride the cable car, of course. So the views from the top are unbelievable. It's a perfect kind of climatic inversion. We've got a blue sky, but we're looking down at the clouds. And it's just drifting across the peaks, very much like Scotland, to me anyway. There's a funicular railway option that you can take to the very top of the mountain, but large queues for it, and a lot of us decided just to walk up these steps. And it's a good walk. Here these young ladies wanted help with holding up their flag, so I was happy to oblige. Because there was actually no wind up here at 10,000 feet. So pretty strangely enough. Coming down was fun as well. There's a drop over the edge on the cable car there. There are many statistics about this cable car, but it's quite an impressive ride. You go through the clouds. And the afternoon was spent going around Sapa, doing some shopping, just chilling out. So it's a good point to mention some of the hill tribe clothes and colours here. They always look really amazing. And here these ladies have top knots, which indicates their marital status. So in the next part of this series, we're going to head towards Hajiang, which is the Hajiang Loop. It's quite famous sort of motorcycle tour. And we also get stopped by the police, not for the last time. So thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye now.